Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Zalwora channel. Do you ever feel like the markets are a giant puzzle? Every week, new pieces get thrown at us and we have to figure out where they fit. Last week's puzzle was full of record-breaking highs, surprise announcements, and wild price swings. But this week the puzzle is getting even more complex. I'm so glad you're here, because we're not just going to tell you what happened, we're going to take you behind the curtain and tell you the story. We'll explore the thrilling highs in the Wall Street, the quiet resilience in the Middle East, the tug of war in Dalal Street, and the roller coaster in crypto. Then, we'll look ahead and get you ready for a week full of crucial data and major events that could reshape the market. So, are you ready to solve the puzzle with us? Disclaimer. Before we start, a quick and important disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. The information in this report is for educational purposes only. It is not and should not be considered financial advice. The global markets are complex and volatile. You should always do your own research and consult with a professional financial advisor before making any investment decisions. If last week had a theme, it would be surprise and celebration. The biggest stories unfolded in the USA, where the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq both climbed to historic highs, powered by a landmark interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve. The S&P 500 started the week at around 6,615 and soared to finish at 6,664. The Nasdaq followed suit, hitting 22,631. But the real drama unfolded in the AI and semiconductor space. The headlines were dominated by a single explosive piece of news. Nvidia, the leader of the AI boom, is investing an incredible $5 billion into Intel. Think about that for a second. The new king of chips is buying into its struggling rival to partner on new technology. The deal sent Intel stock soaring by over 20% and has everyone asking what it means for the market and for Intel's primary competitor, AMD. While the America was in a celebratory mood, the rest of the world was in a more watchful state. The Middle East markets showed remarkable resilience. The UAE's ADX and DFM saw positive gains, proving that a focus on regional stability and economic diversification can help a market weather global storms. Saudi Arabia's Tadawul also firmed up, driven by investor interest in a growing non-oil economy. Across the globe in India, it was a classic market tug of war. The Sensex snapped its 5-day winning streak only to rebound the very next day. This back and forth reflects a market caught between strong local fundamentals and a cautious stance ahead of the US Fed's decisions. The volatility we saw in sectors like auto and IT tells us that investors were taking profits and waiting for the dust to settle. And then there was crypto. What a wild ride. Bitcoin dropped to the $105,000 range, and then, in a stunning reversal, it jumped back to an all-time high of nearly $124,000. This kind of volatility is a perfect example of how much the crypto world is now influenced by mainstream economic events, with massive amounts of money flowing into exchange-traded funds or ETFs. So, with last week's show over, what's on the docket for this week? The theme is shifting from surprise to scrutiny. The American market performance will be heavily influenced by a series of Federal Reserve speeches. On September 22nd, we'll hear from multiple Fed presidents. Every word they say will be analyzed for clues about the future path of interest rates. Any hint of a more cautious or hawkish tone could put a brake on the high-flying tech and semiconductor stocks we just saw soar. Internationally, the Middle East and India will be watching closely. While their calendars might look light, these markets will react to global economic data, like consumer confidence reports from Europe and a key interest rate decision from China. But the real headline event this week is Korea Blockchain Week in Seoul. This is a massive gathering of the brightest minds in the crypto world. Discussions will focus on AI integration, real-world asset tokenization, and institutional adoption. The buzz from this conference could drive a lot of positive sentiment, potentially pushing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to retest their recent highs. So here's our final takeaway for the week. The US market faces a new test of its momentum. while the Middle East and India will react to global economic cues. And for crypto, it's all about the buzz and innovation coming out of Korea Blockchain Week. The puzzle pieces are on the table. Thank you for joining me for this week's update. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Zalwora channel, and let me know in the comments below what you are watching this week. See you next time. Thank you.